Hey, friends. We're starting a magical adventure. See how the little hero swiftly defeats two foes, stunning his brother Jethro. Soon, an arrow hits him in the back, as if saying, "Hey, Jacob." At the critical juncture, Lady Lightning intervenes like Superman, scattering remaining foes like mice from a cat, and Jethro rushes to his brother without hesitation. Seeing her brother injured, Lady Lightning swiftly pulls the arrow from Jacob, who whines in pain like a child. His wailing echoes throughout the valley, while Naomi is captured, escorted like a celebrity to the summer tribe, where the chief's wife just passed away due to some illness. So she had to step in as the chief's wife for the job and serve the man in front of her. One night, Naomi gets shiny oil rubbed on her like she's prepping for a big dance party. Waiting for the chief to enter her VIP room, everything prepped, the witch tidies up her things and floats away like she's got somewhere better to be. Then, the chief strolls in, no small talk, just plops Naomi down on the bed. Naomi doesn't resist. She starts reciting a poem like teaching the man linguistic art, leaving him stunned. The strange sound disrupts his thoughts. To find out what's happening, he calls other tribe members over. Among them, an elder believed the lady spoke to spirits in a strange language. Naomi, on the other hand, had no idea her poetry could leave these folks in a daze. However, after spending some time together, Naomi starts seeing the chief in a new light and gradually adapts to her new lifestyle. Eventually, she gives birth to a son for the chief, who the prairie fire names Unicorn Camp. Meanwhile, the few remaining folks in the caravan are trudging across the western plains, but Jacob's injuries are seriously bad. She just can't take the bumpy ride anymore, so she makes a heroic choice. She hopes her wife and brother keep moving on while she stays put to heal and catch up later, sounding like a solid plan. But all know surviving alone in the Wild West is tough, especially with Jacob badly hurt. Yet they respected her choice over Jonah's torture and parted, unaware it'd be a long farewell. Fast forward 2 days later, and Jacob can't move at all, but luckily she is spotted by her wife's brother, Flying Fox. Maybe it was fate that brought them together. Otherwise, we wouldn't explain why Flying Fox showed up, and over the next week, Flying Fox and his tribe took turns treating Jacob, who finally began to recover. As they part ways, Flying Fox gifts Jacob a horse to help her chase her family, but winter is knocking at the door. If she fails to cross the mountains, she must wait till next spring to reunite with family, but fate strikes again. The harsh winter arrives early, blocking the only road with tons of snow. Meanwhile, Lady Lightning and her crew trek through their long journey. Finally, they reach California, the place Jacob has dreamt of, just hoping her husband will find her soon. Meanwhile, Jacob frequently sees her children's faces in dreams, the longing almost driving her into a meltdown of solitude. With nature's capricious weather and her own health issues, Jacob's plans get thrown completely off course. Helplessly, she survived in the wild, hunting for a living. After enduring a second dreadful winter, she burned down the once warm hut. She trades some beaver pelts for supplies and horses, setting off on her journey to find her family in California. Everywhere she stops, she probes for news about her family, but there's not a whisper to be found. It seems California engulfed them entirely. Then the U.S.-Mexico war erupted, forcing Jacob to fight at the border. While resupplying, Jacob unexpectedly meets the one he yearns for, as if in a dream. The man almost calls out his wife's name, but is struck down by the sight before him, shattering all his beautiful dreams. His wife is now building a family with his own brother and even his kids. Meanwhile, as per the captain's orders, the soldiers have a brief rest here, but when a boy appears, it reignites Jacob's heart with hope. He takes the apple his mother hands him and starts sharing it with the resting soldiers. When he stands before Jacob, that simultaneously familiar yet strange face appears. He knew it was his youngest son, but dared not acknowledge him, so silently hung the tribal relic from Lady Lightning around his neck. He chooses to leave alone, seeing a happy dream family, while Jacob gives up. He preserves that serene tranquility, leaving only immense sorrow behind for the long and winding journey. Subtitles: An endless skirt. After the army departs, little Jacob returns, and Lady Lightning spots the item on her son's neck at once. After questioning her son, she confirms her beloved man is alive, but can't understand why Jacob won't join their lives. Later, Lady Lightning shares this with her now adult daughter. When Margaret learns her father is alive, she sets off on a quest to find Jacob. And just like that, winter rolls in, but Lady Lightning's home looks quite blissful. Jethro treats his brother's 2 sons as if they were his own, and they are all fighting hard for this precious. However, a passing stranger breaks the peace. He is lost in the wilderness. He's seeking a so-called mining area, telling the family SF draws treasure hunters worldwide, all wild for gold. At first, Jethro doesn't believe him, but seeing the stranger's serious face, he starts to ponder. Night falls, and the man sits by the fire, unable to sleep. It's evident that the rich guy's words are etched into his mind. Sure enough, the next morning, right under the family's nose, Jethro decides to follow other fortune seekers on the road to San Francisco.